Thank you. See, it gets a lot of attention, right? Hey guys, it's Glenn from glenscarcollection.com, and we're in the Mclaren 720s Performance. Now, there's no difference between the Performance and the Luxury. It's just the theme that's going on here. So here we have basically the race bucket seats. We have the carbon fiber wheel. We have everything that you would want here in a race car, where the luxury version is going to give us a lot of leather, make it seem more luxurious. All right, so the front tires are a little cold here as we're driving. Now, maybe it's this seat, maybe it's this angle, but I feel like I'm in a real race car. Way different than your regular 720s. Oh, man. All right. I'm just speechless driving this car. This is probably one of my favorite cars to drive. All right, so we got the auto start shut off here, which I want off. So we got to hear the engine. Come on, we're reviewing a 720s. This is one of the best cars, I think, for the money. They're about 400,000 new, used maybe like 320. Who knows? In this market, they're probably full price. But you got like the glass roof here on both sides. You got the scissor doors. It's a very comfortable ride. Yeah, wow, he went straight. They both went straight, so they cut me off. I should have just went and accelerated. All right, so we're gonna take it on some twisties to go over the interior and exterior, and then we're going to take some really cool roads on the way back, so make sure to watch to the end of the video. Special thanks to DCH Acura in Verona, New Jersey for providing me with the car. They have about 80 Glen cars, everything. We just got out of a Lamborghini Aventador, beautiful yellow one. Don't know what video I'll post first, but they got 992s, GT3s, manual transmission Porsches, M5, AMGs, Ferraris, McLarens, you name it, they have it. Rolls-Royce, Bentley. All right, so I don't know, this seat, you know, I have room in this seat, but I mean, it makes me feel like I can't move. I mean, it's a stiff seat, but I really feel like I'm in the perfect cockpit position here to get the perfect lap time on my favorite racetrack. It almost feels like when you're a kid, you get in those racing simulators. I mean, the games suck, but it looks cool. You sit on the thing with the wheel, like say, down the shore or something. It reminds me of the Jersey Shore, actually driving this to go, you know, one of those arcade games they had when you were a kid. All right, so we're gonna have some twisty roads up here, so we'll get to check out the handling. Now, I've driven quite a few 720s, and I own a 570s, and we just posted a 600 LT video to the channel. This is in the beautiful orange color. This was the same color I think we drove on this 6 LT. We still don't have heat in those front tires, so you saw a little slip there with the tires. Takes a while when you have the, I believe it must have the Corsa tires like my 570s did. Sometimes it takes 15-20 minutes of driving to get heat in them. And today's a warm day. Today's like 70 degrees. This really holds you in the seat. I don't know how comfortable it would be on a 2-hour highway trip, but doing what we're doing today, driving this car for 20 minutes, the seat feels perfect. Now, I believe this seat would only be available on the Performance model. Gearshift is the best. I think this Gearshift is just as good as Porsche's PDK, if not better. I love this Alcantara wheel. This is the way you should always spec the cars out, like I did with my 570s, if you remember the videos, with the carbon fiber shift paddles. That's an expensive option. I think it's like a $5,000 or $6,000 option. It's like some crazy number. And when I started my search for my 570s, I only searched cars that had that wheel, because otherwise you get like cheap plastic pedals, and to me it just didn't do it for me. All right, so now we're going to test it on bumpy roads and see how she does. The McLaren dual clutch is so good, I always shift in manual mode. It's always very comfortable. Now, this is not as stiff as the Aventador we just drove, but unless you're driving like a Bentley here or a Rolls-Royce, this is a very bumpy road, and you can kind of see it in the camera. So this is not the car's fault. It's just one of New Jersey's finest roads. And here we're going to have some off-camber turns, which is going to make it even a little crazier. Now, our usual spot to film is under construction, so if they're hammering away, I may have to do some voiceover, but... All right, and as we pull in here, remember to like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. We got about 16,000 subscribers. Get me to 20 so I can review even more cool cars. Thank you. Hey guys, it's Glenn from glenscarcollection.com, and today we're driving a Mclaren 720s Performance Edition. One of my favorite cars. I think one of the best cars you can buy, money no object, is a 720s. If you follow the channel, you know I had a 570s, but my dream car, of course, would be the 720s. Differences, well, a lot more horsepower, faster. You have a 4-liter twin turbo V8 producing 710 horsepower. Now it's called the 720s because in Europe it actually produces, they just measure horsepower differently. There's no performance difference. They measure it as 720 horsepower. We here measure it as 710 horsepower. There's construction going on here, so I may have to voice over part of this, but I think this is one of the most gorgeous cars you could buy, certainly at a money no object price. We have ceramic brakes, we have sticky P0 tires that need to be warmed up. And to open the door, so here's the key. The key is basically unlock in the middle, lock, and open the front trunk. The front trunk has actually got a decent amount of room here. It's Porsche 911 like, and actually it's better. This is even more, I think, than my 570s, but I could be wrong. You have your Mclaren charger, which is really a C-Tech charger. You can fit a lot of stuff here because it's very deep. Look how deep it is here. All right, so let's close that up. Remember, the engine is in the middle, mid-engine. You got some great, so the spoiler goes up at speed, or I think you could press a button and it goes up. Have the exhaust coming right through here. Remember, on the 600 LT, it shot the flames right there. And now to open the door, my 570s and the 12C were underneath. For the 720, you kind of have the bodywork over the rest of the car, like a wide body. So the press, where you press to get in, is actually on top. All right, so I'm getting old. It's hard to get in these seats. But once they're in, it's fantastic. So I'm going to close the door now, put my seatbelt on so we don't hear the annoying seatbelt chime. And let's start her up. So start and stop buttons right here. Some of the controls are different. On my 570s, it was down here. What's it telling me? They're going to service it, don't worry. So launch control, which we're not going to use, is not my car. It's for sale. DCH Acura, you could buy that today. So we have drive, control, reverse. This is to shut off your start, stop button, which we'll do. Now, any kind of mode, you have handling, and I think the other one is throttle response. I forget what P or performance. So you have comfort. And then, so it pretty much looks the same, the instrumentation. You put it in sport, and you got to activate all these. Every time you do something, you got to press active. So now if we put it in track and activate it, you see the screen will change. So we almost have like a Formula 1 car here. It only gives you the tach with the mileage on this, miles per hour on the side. So that's pretty cool, right? So we'll drive in, I guess, the sport mode technically for both. I love the carbon fiber steering wheel here with the carbon fiber paddles. Parking brake is actually on the side here. So where the Aventador we just drove was in the middle, here it's on the side, and we just pull it back towards us. All right, so our mirrors are all set. Now, did I not take off the parking brake? There we go. Whoops. All right, so we got to put it in first by pressing the paddle. So it is automatically defaulted into neutral. Now we'll drive on some really cool roads. Now, Mclaren, again, has a fantastic dual clutch. We can raise the car right here. We have a front nose lift, which can come in handy. All right, now we're going to accelerate. And this car stays flat. This is money no object. Get a Mclaren 720s. It's probably my favorite supercar, next to like a Carrera GT or something like that. But Carrera GTs are $1 million now. All right, so the roads are rough here, so I wanted to put this on the 720s. Now, this 570 GT we drove had the softest ride. It was the softest on these terrible, bumpy New Jersey roads. So we're gonna watch the dip here. We're gonna take it to some S-turns in a minute. and then we can kind of play with the handling. Now there is a meter that shows us the tires, so when the tires were cold, they were blue. My 570S had the same thing because I had the P0 Corsas that take about 15 or 20 minutes to get heat into them. This car looks amazing too. I mean, maybe the Aventador looks a little better, but this certainly performs better. All right, so we can make a right on red here in New Jersey after a complete stop. It'll automatically, even though we're in manual mode, shift us down to first gear. Now what we'll do is up here, we'll go into track mode just for these S-turns. So track, and now it's gonna give us only thing what we need. It tells us the gear, the RPMs, and our speed. That's it. That's all you need on roads like this. Now the Gearshift just responds so effortlessly. I'm just in awe that I'm in a 720S, probably my favorite car in the world. All right, so downshift into second. Look ahead. You have thick A-pillars here, but not as thick. Now it sounds like a race car, right? Now we got a party. Not as thick as the Aventador. You still got that carpet in the road from our other video. Just want to make sure the road's clear here. Now it actually like a Formula One car. All right, we need gas. I didn't check the gas. That's one thing I didn't do. All right, so it goes green, red, blue, just like a Formula One car. All right, so we're gonna get into track mode. We're gonna actually try comfort mode now and activate it. All right, so that was a fantastic time in the 720S. We're just gonna hit traffic here, so I didn't have the camera on, but let's go over the highlights for this car. Well, amazing dual clutch transmission. I mean, this is good as PDK, if not better. I think this is the best transmission on any exotic car I've driven. Thank you. See, it gets a lot of attention, right? What else? Engine, turbocharged power, everything. You know, I'm trying to think something I don't like about this car, and I can tell you right now, I mean, what I don't like about the car is literally zero. Everything I love about the car is there's nothing I don't love about this car. So thanks again, guys. Remember to watch, like, subscribe, share, and I will see you at the next video, and check out DCH Acura. Thank you.